What is up? Welcome back. We are addressing this comment right here. We are squashing this mindset. If you believe like this in any sort of way, we're getting rid of that shit. You are just purposely choosing to live a lower quality of life. You're giving yourself an easy out. You're giving yourself an excuse when you could be getting a lot more out of your life, okay? Because you don't realize your potential. And I'm just gonna talk about this by explaining many parts of my story and decisions I made in my life. Just kind of show you guys why this is like some bullshit, okay? For the longest time, I didn't understand what I wanted to do with my life. I had zero clue. The only thing I was kind of into was fitness. And once I got into college, I felt like alone at college. Not to sound like cringy or anything, but I felt like alone. Like I had some friends in the frats, but I just would either go home on the weekends to see my high school friends or my friends from high school, or I would go to the frats or just try to go out and talk to girls. That was it. But I had no idea what I wanted to do for my career or the rest of my life. And I always had this feeling like, it kind of sounds like stupid or cliche to say, but I kind of felt like lost. Like I just didn't know. And really, I just wanted to find something that I could just grind and invest my time into and continue to get better at, and trade my time and working hard for money, but working for myself. And so, you know, at this time, in college, and I still have to go to school, okay? So I decided to start thrifting vintage clothes and flipping them online. That was my hobby for a while, my side hustle, but I did that to make money. So in my free time, I would cut back on partying and stuff like that, and I would hit the thrifts on the weekends. I would go to the bins, you know, just to stay occupied and grind. But deep down, like, I also knew that that wasn't sustainable long term. I did that for a minute, but that was just like something I decided to try. But I knew I had more potential, okay? I didn't see the full route with fitness yet, but I knew that there was something there. So after I graduated, okay, that's when I really got my body right. And I had already established good gym habits, but that's when I decided to lean out. You're gonna see kind of a trend of how this goes as I keep explaining this, but that's when I decided to lean out, and you could see all the definition of my work. But, you know, I was still partying, doing that kind of stuff for a while. I mean, I still, you know, drank, partied, hung out with my high school friends a lot. And then eventually, I was doing some personal training stuff. I was doing some strength conditioning, sports performance style stuff. But I still felt like it just wasn't for me. I didn't have that thing yet. I didn't have that thing that I was happy with. And I was still living for the weekend. I was just trying to get by through the week. And my mental health wasn't great yet. Okay, my body was looking a lot better, but my mental health wasn't great. So I finally decided to go sober, and that's when I really started to work on my mental health. Okay, I went through a couple breakups. Before that, I went through a couple breakups, you know, rough breakups kind of stuff, but eventually I decided to go sober because I wanted to have no excuses to why I couldn't work hard, I couldn't grind, and couldn't achieve my dreams. And that was one of the best things I could have done for my mental health, because it cleared a lot of things for me. Okay, and around that time, not long after, probably less than a year after that, I started doing online fitness coaching through people that I met in person at work. They're like, hey, why don't you help me, you know, full time, like online coach me. Like, I want to look like you, because my body was right. Okay, my mind was doing better. It wasn't the best. Okay, my mental health is like leveled up over time. I used to be really shitty. I used to be a little bit better when I had some stable relationships. After that, you know, getting broken up with and stuff, I had to mature, I had to learn. It improved a little bit, and then I was still drinking and stuff. After I quit the drinking, it started to get better. Okay, and then as of recent, last year and a half, it's gotten even better because I've grown so much in my business and the things that I love, my passions and stuff, and it's just continued to improve. I am at a lot more peace than I was a couple years ago. But so you might look at this comment and be like, well, the guy kind of has a point. Like, it kind of took you years to get to where you were. But when you look back at every little detail, all of that shit was accomplishable in months by just making a decision. You can build a lot of muscle mass within a year if you just make the decision to work for it. You can go sober and improve your mental health a lot within 1 year if you just choose to do it. Okay, you can start a new side hustle and find something you love easily within 6 months to a year if you just decide to go for it and do it. All those little decisions that I made led me to where I am today. They all are important. The combination of all of them is important. But when you tell yourself that something isn't realistic for you, it will never be realistic for you. Back probably 8 to 10 years ago, I never thought I would ever be in the position I was today. Financially free, my own boss with a successful fitness coaching business, doing what I want on my own time. And it's one of like the best feelings. And it's one of the best feelings. The takeaway I wanted from this video is that you can choose what is realistic for you or not. Your expectations could be way higher than what I have for myself. They might be a lot higher than what your friend has for themselves. Okay? But you get to decide that. Nobody else. And if I was having a talk with a real friend right now, I would try to get them to see all the potential they have in themselves, because sometimes you need to hear it from someone else for you to believe it, because sometimes we doubt ourselves a lot. And when someone else sees that in you, they can give you that spark to act on it. Because at one point, I probably could have used that. And if my friends aren't supporting me and telling me that things aren't realistic for me, the things that I care about, my passions, then I would probably find some new friends, because having that mindset that something isn't realistic for you will cap your potential for the rest of your life. It'll leave you full of regret, and it'll have you missing out on some of the best possible life experiences that you could ever have, that you will only ever experience if you fucking fully go for it. Try to just get rid of all those doubts, those fears you have about yourself, and just try to make your life the exact one that you want, the most fulfilling one. So that's all. I'm gonna leave you with that. Fucking chase your dreams. Go for it. It's gonna come in spurts. You're gonna make little improvements in spurts probably, but you start now, it's just gonna keep chopping up to be something amazing. And you'll look back and be glad you just made that first decision. All right, let's fucking go. Get yours. I'm going to keep getting mines. I'll have more stories to tell you guys later. Till the next one, peace.